Hi Raj, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, sir. What about you?
I'm good too, thank you. So many congratulations to you that you have got selected in multiple companies and that too in this type of layoffs and all those things. So how do you feel?
Yeah, thanks for the compliment. I feel good, and I would like to give a credit to you all, you as well, as like I was going continuous 3 months with your channel.
Hmm.
Even it helped me a lot, boosting up my confidence, and even we don't know. Like I was a fresher, I
Hmm.
didn't knew that how this the journey goes on, switching
Okay.
to one company from another. Even
Hmm.
I was following your channel, whatever the interview you took, I did everything, and yeah, and I got the result in last.
Okay, so you are a fresher
uh,
or
you're not audible properly.
now am I audible? Hello, now am I audible? Hello. So how many years of experience do you have?
Okay, so coming to the experience, so I'm a 2020 pass out, a BTech pass out. So from 2020 I got placed, and till today, so it's been 2 years and 7 months around, and this is the
Hmm.
overall experience.
Okay, so in how many companies you have got selected?
So around 9 to 10 companies I got selected. uh,
Hmm.
like uh, Around 15 companies I got the chance to to give interview.
Hmm.
In 3 to 4 companies I got rejected, and in 2 to 3 companies even I did not took the offer. And like in last, yeah, in last 9 offers were there in my hand. So yeah, the 9 offers are there in my hand.
Okay, great. So a lot of confusion would be there in joining the company. So we won't be
Oh,
asking much of the details about those companies, but what is the hike that you have received?
so hike, it's between 120 to 150% of hike. Like
Oh,
this
wow.
is the average
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting for
So
most of the.
you told you are having 2.5 years of experience. So
Yes.
you might be making somewhere around 5 to 7, and now you are earning around 12 to 15.
Yeah, almost same, around that
Okay.
those figure only.
Wonderful, great. And would you like to tell us something about yourself? Like you're doing manual testing, you're doing automation, or
Yeah, definitely. So in the entire 2.7 years of experience, so 2.5 years I would say it is completely into automation.
hmm,
I got a very little chance to do manual, and
hmm,
even when I was doing manual also, so it was parallel, doing manual and automation both. So I got a good grab on the automation skill,
hmm,
so which helped me a lot in uh, proceeding with the interviews. So I have a good experience in my company with the projects onto the web automation as well as API automation.
correct, correct. No, that's wonderful. So which programming language you are using for doing
Yeah.
automation?
Coming to my automation project, so we are using the tool called Selenium, and the language we are following is the core Java, Java plus core Java plus uh, collections. These are the fundamentals of Java we are using
Hmm.
mostly in our automation.
Okay. And the framework is the data-driven framework or hybrid framework?
Yeah, it is hybrid framework, as like for cook we are using Cucumber as like so we are, so from there we are driving the data either using Excel sheet or through parameterization, and sometimes it is TestNG and JUnit. So for those also we are following, even it has a specific class to fetch the data.
Hmm.
So or either .json file is there. So yeah, these three types of the data driven we are using. So
Mm-hmm. Great,
so,
great.
so like three frameworks are there: TestNG, JUnit, and Cucumber, on which we like I have a experience on.
Mm-hmm.
Based on these skills only, I got call, my resume got selected, and these all the topics which were asked based on these three things only.
Okay, great. So would you like to tell us about the interview questions that you have faced from various companies? And you can just share with us if you have any notepad or any document available with you.
Yeah, like I made the notepad, but after giving interview, like recently I resetted my laptop. So
Mm-hmm.
all the files got erased, but most of the questions are there in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can speak
Yeah, yeah.
most
So
of the
let me
questions.
share my screen. Yeah, let me jot down those questions. You can
Yeah,
just,
definitely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So is my screen
Okay.
visible? Yeah,
Yeah, it's visible.
correct.
Okay. So starting from the manual part.
Mm,
So like even though I was giving interview for automation only, but
mm,
the interviewer was focused on everything: manual, automation, and core Java. So
okay.
I will start from manual first. So
Mm,
manual, the first question I would like to say, to describe all the events of agile. Like
mm,
what are the different ceremony occurs in the agile, when
mm,
you work in agile using Scrum or using Kanban. So
mm,
will be the first question.
mm,
Yeah, along with this, uh, for me, as like they have asked me to open a website called booking.com.
mm,
Like it is basically a hospitality website where people book their hotels for different
mm,
number of stays and different number of guests. So they asked me to uh, note down on the Excel sheet how we will approach for writing the test cases.
mm,
So at least give 5 to 6 test cases, and not the basic one. Try to give some good test cases
mm,
based on that, seeing the application, what you are understanding.
mm.
Uh, uh,
So what
and
test cases did you give them when they asked you?
Yeah, so okay. So my like I opened the booking.com. So the my answer was the one or two test cases I gave from UI site,
Mm,
that once you open a website, there should be a login button. If you are a new user, there should be an option to register. Once you logged in, you should be able to see that what is your booking. Like, so for example, I have booked my booking for 24th of April, but now I want to delay my booking. I want to erase 24 and make a new booking with 26, and so no need to make a new repayment. So these are the test cases. What happens if somebody pays the money got deducted from his account, but even though he did not get an order ID? So these
mm,
are some kind of disastrous activity. Like,
mm,
how the application should behave in such situation if the payment API broke in between, but
correct.
user money got debited.
Yes.
Along with this, like I have booked my booking for guest number two for two number of guests.
Mm,
Now, before one day, I would like to increase the number of guests to four. So
mm,
in such situation, how the API is going to behave?
mm, mm,
So yeah, these are the questions, and
mm.
these were the answers I gave.
Right, right. No, these are good things.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, now coming to the third question. So the
mm,
third question was from a team perspective, like so yeah, if you got into a conflict with one of your teammate or one of your developer, so what
uh,
will be your approach? How you are going to handle such situation? So
mm,
in such case, my answer was as like first of all, I will try to give the facts, that
mm,
on which fact I am saying that I am correct and you are wrong.
mm,
But even though if I found that both of us are not reaching to a conclusion, of course I will ask my scrum master or my team lead to set up a open discussion meeting
mm,
where all the team members can come together and they can review the points. So yeah, these were the answers.
mm.
Means basically I was trying to say that at the initial stage I will try to handle the situation, but if I'm not capable of, I will try my test lead to get involved into them and put an open discussion. So yeah,
Oh, that's a good
now
point.
coming,
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
yeah. So yeah, so along with this, um, along with this, they will ask questions about different types of test techniques. So for example, test techniques are there, how you have implemented into your project. So for me, I was aware of only two test techniques. Those were BVA, called boundary value analysis, and
mm,
equivalence partitioning. And along with others are like state transition diagram. So what are these test techniques, and where do you get chance to implement those test techniques? So
mm,
give one example.
mm,
So this was a good question I found.
mm.
Even I was not even I was not able to give a proper answer of this. I just gave answer for EP and BVA, but I did not knew about the state transition diagram.
Hmm.
Because when we do testing in real scenarios, so we just keep on learning the application and do the testing. We do not see that which is the technique we are using.
Correct.
Sometimes we do not know the technique also, but we are implementing the
We are
technique.
implementing it. Hmm.
Yeah.
True.
So now and so these were the basic questions on manual.
Guidance.
So for example, if you are giving an interview, so say for 1 hour, it is of 1 hour, so
Hmm.
15 minutes will be your manual.
Hmm.
So yeah, these were kind of questions. Half an hour will be for the core Java, not for core Java, whatever the programming language you have mentioned.
Hmm.
So for me, it was core Java, and then again 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, it will be the automation tool. Either it is REST assured, or either it is Selenium.
Hmm.
So yeah, these were the questions on manual part, which took me around 10 to 15 minutes completely.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Now coming to the automation part. So starting from Selenium itself. So yeah, the first question would be, they will ask you to open any of the application, and
Hmm.
they will ask you to write an XPath, or write an XPath, but that should be a generic path. It should not include any of the text or any of the index number. This should be applicable to any time. So try to write those kind of locators. So this is the basic question which I have seen people asking in most of the interviews.
Hmm.
Yeah, along with this, okay, you're right. Yeah, so along with this, for me, they have asked me to open gmail.com, and the scenario was to log in into your account, giving username, password, and put a email, and given a user email ID, you need to put that email, compose the mail, send him, and then put an assertion that email has been sent successfully. So write the actual code in the Eclipse. So known as like either in Eclipse or in Notepad. So they were not focusing that the code should work, but anyway they know that what should be the assertions, and what is the technology you are going to use. So
Yes.
these were
Yes.
the question related to gmail.com
Hmm.
actual scenario.
Right. Right.
uh, yeah so yeah, after that, the most question which were asked to explain all the weights in the Selenium, as like, so three kinds of weight are there, that
Hmm.
is implicit, explicit, and fluent weight.
Hmm.
And what are the differences between all these weights?
Okay.
uh, and what are the differences, and write the syntax for explicit weight and fluent weight. This was the question from weight, uh, which I have seen people asking in most of the interviews.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah. Now, one more question I would like to say. In Selenium, there is a keyword called find element and find elements. So what? Yeah. So for example, if you are using find elements, but no such element is available, so
Hmm.
what you are going to get in return? So mostly people used to think that they will get error in the return, that element not found, but actually they are going to get an empty array, empty list, if you are using find elements and the element is not visible. So this was a tricky question I found.
Hmm.
But I was aware of this question because I was regularly seeing your videos and going through the lectures. So yeah, I did not got trapped in such kind of tricky questions.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah so yeah, these all were the basic question, and mostly like your 5 to 7 minutes they will consume just by saying that open the website. They will give you the scenario that you need to select a generic element. Like, so for example, one table will be given. In table there like three table rows will be there. They will ask you to write a generic path, so you can traverse to the entire row and entire column. You don't need to keep changing the index number. So
Hmm.
you need to be writing a generic path, that so that you can cover the entire element available in that table. So
Hmm.
this is the question. Yeah. Like, if you will practice, if anyone is going to practice these 5 to 6 questions, so
Hmm.
most of the things will be covered in this.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like this, my 15 to 20 minute went into the Selenium part.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now coming to the rest assured. So in some of the interviews, they asked me about rest assured also,
Hmm.
rest assured and postman. Uh, so from rest assured, again they will ask the basic question that how you are deriving the data. So in rest assured there is one concept of pojo classes.
Hmm.
So Bojo class. So if you are from Java background, then this
Hmm.
is a sure short question. They
Hmm.
will explain that what is the purpose of Bojo classes and how it makes easier to derive the data. So there are some things that is getter and setter functions. So about this, they can ask that what are getter and setter functions, Bojo classes. Uh, then then what are the differences between resource, query parameter, path parameter, and actual base end URL. So these are the four things available into any of the API. So
Hmm.
what are the differences into four? Which of the things are mandatory? So for example, base end URL and resource, these two things are mandatory, while query and path parameters are not mandatory always.
Hmm.
So these things we will ask. Again, they will ask that what are the different kinds of error, client code and server codes.
Hmm.
So from 200 till 500, sorry, 2xx till 5xx,
Hmm.
they will ask you to whatever the codes explain and what are their names and what are their purpose. So the answer would be for this question is 200 and 201 is a kind of okay, that whatever the request you were trying, the request got created. Similarly, when it goes to 300, 307, 308, it is a kind of redirection code.
Hmm.
Means either your URL is temporarily or permanent got redirected.
Hmm.
Similarly, when it goes to 4xx, it is a client error, and when it goes to
Correct.
5xx, it is a server error. So this is
Hmm.
a basic question they will ask. Yeah. So now coming to TestNG. So yeah, I missed about TestNG and Cucumber. So yeah. So okay. So for TestNG, um, like they will ask the order of what is the order and priority of before class, after class, before method, after method. Like in a test, if before class and before method, before suite, before groups, all things are written, then in which order these blocks will execute. So this is the question everybody should prepare. Along with this, what are the API being called if you want to access the Excel sheet? So for that, we have a Apache poi API, through which you can integrate your TestNG to the Excel sheet. This was the answer I gave. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah. So now, yeah, so one more question was there, as like there are some test cases which get fails if you run once, but if you are running it twice, then in the second chance the test cases got passed. So
Yes.
what may be the condition that these test cases are not getting passed at in the first time only, and how you are going to handle such situations?
Hmm.
So my answer was like some of the test cases are flaky, they depend on network or any of the hardware or network issues. So in your in your framework, there is a concept called I retry analyzer, which comes through TestNG only, where you need to mention the number as like how much time you want your run to be rerun again and again. So
Hmm.
you can mention that rerun is equal to one. Means like if it gets one time, then you can run it again one time more. So this was my answer. Now coming to Cucumber. So in Cucumber, the first question would be, what is the significance of background, scenario, outline, and scenario? These three things they asked me. uh, and how does the feature file is related with the step definition? How does the feature file finds that where is the step definition written for me? So how does it work in the backend? So my answer was, in the hooks only we need to mention the folder name, that where we are going to keep our step definition file. All these things should be mentioned into the hooks.java file. Yeah, these questions were fine. Now, yeah, now coming to the core Java part. So from the core Java perspective, yeah, first of all, they will ask that what are the inheritance which are not supported into the Java. So for example, multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. So this should be the answer, and they will ask the reason, the why it is not supported, but it is supported in C++. Through both are following oops concept only. So
Hmm.
this will be this was the question.
Hmm.
Along with this, Along with this, yeah, they will ask the difference between abstraction and interface, that what are the basic difference and what is the basic necessity. Anyway, in interface also we have our implementation hidden, and same is implemented in the abstract class also. Then what is the difference and what is the significance of both of them? Along with this, they will ask that whether your driver can be static, whether your main function can you make it non-static, whether the constructor can be static or final, and if yes or no, then they will ask the reason. Mostly, so for the for the constructor part, they will focus more that whether the constructor can be static, final, and if yes, or if no, what is the reason for that. Along with this, the basic question is difference between final, finalize. So yeah, this everybody should know. And along with this, once they will get to know that okay, this guy is okay, or he's fine in the theory part, then
Mm.
of course they will ask you to open any of the editor or online editor, and they will ask you to write one program. So now coming to those program, so so mostly those program will belong from the collections. Like they will try to check whether you know what is the significance of hash set, hash maps, why set is being used. So they will give you a simple question, and they will ask you that do not try to solve it in a generic way. Don't apply the basic. Like, I want you to applying the map concept, hash map concept. So in terms of key value pair, so yeah, you need to solve those, and they will expect you that code should be running actually. Sometimes what happen, people just write the code in notepad. So it is fine when you are writing the code in Selenium, then they are not expecting you that code should be running. But when they are asking the code in core Java, so most of the time they will expect to see the output actual.
Okay.
Yeah, so mostly, so in Java part, and two questions maximum from collections.
Mm.
Yeah, you can expect, means any of the person who is trying to switch a job with experience of 2 to 3 years. So these like going through these much of topics will be good for them. uh, yeah.
Okay, great. So these were the list of questions. Would you like to tell the name of the companies in which you got the opportunity to give interviews?
Yeah, definitely. So okay, so starting from the first company I gave interview in was TCS, where I got selected.
Mm.
So basically, I was having a 90 days notice period. So in the beginning, I was not getting much call.
Mm.
But once I got a placement, once I got an offer from TCS, so even though my notice period was reducing, then I started getting multiple call now. So TCS, then it went to Cognizant, then it went to some product based company like KPMG, no, KPMG. Then there is an American bank called Wells Fargo.
Mm.
Then there is a company called 7-Eleven. Then a few other product-based companies called Align Technology, Invisalign. Yeah, these were the list. These are the list of companies from which I got offered. Yeah.
Okay, great. So how did you get this interview call scheduled? How did you apply into these companies? What did you do every day?
Okay, so I was mostly focused on Naukri.com only.
Mm.
As like I was applying on LinkedIn also, but like in my experience, I don't think I got any call from LinkedIn. Even most of my colleagues who were trying to switch, they were all focused on Naukri.com, and even they got switched from Naukri.com also only. So even I was more focused on Naukri.com. So I was maintaining everything properly. Along with this, I gave everything over there, like entire details, what are the skills, my GitHub repository, what are the things people can find in the GitHub repository. So mostly I was focusing on Naukri.com every day, every morning, and in every night I was updating my profile. So either I was entering one of the new skill or just replacing one skill, so that every time my profile got updated and it gets a higher rank whenever someone searches with the specific skill. uh, yeah, these were the things I was doing, and I was manipulating my resume also sometimes. So for example, if I found a post that people is looking for the given skills, if out of those 10 skills, if 7 skills also I have, So even though I will apply, I know like no need to have 100% knowledge, but I will just put into my resume that I have skills of all these 10 things. But anyway, nobody is going to ask question on all the 10 topics. So in this way, sometimes I used to manipulate. If the company is very good, I just see the skills, I put whatever their requirements are, I just put into my resume. And yeah, these also work sometimes for me. Luckily, it worked for me. Yeah. But I was mostly focused on Naukri.com only. This is what I can say.
Okay, great, great. So how did you come across our channel?
So your channel is uh, like for example, I was having a good hands-on in the automation part. So when I thought of switching the job, when uh, I was finding any of the channel or any of the material where I can practice that whether the things I know whether it is actual correct or not. Or sometimes it happens that you work very good in your company, but when it goes to interview, you are not aware of this because you are not aware of those technical terms and those technical jargons. So I was finding some of the good lectures, and even my friend was following RD automation. He only the first time he said me that, yeah, these are the channels very popular, you should go on. Like I watched one time, I saw you taking a mock interview with a 2 to 3 experience of a guy. It did very good, and from there like it became an habit. Like every 10 hours I used to go through that video. I used to see that whether the opposite party is saying those questions, whether I know the answers or not. If I don't know the answer, I will note down the question and I will try to find the answers. Yeah, and this is about how my journey looks like.
Great. So, would you like to give any suggestions? What content should we focus on upload on our channel? Like, which should really help the people, candidates out there who are trying to make their career in the field of software testing?
um, so for software testing, so as like if you are doing job in software testing, so you don't need to put much effort because anyway you are learning. But you need to go through some technical course where you will get to know that what are the things people are going to ask when you give the interview. But if you are completely fresher, you are not actual working, so you should go through a good course. As like in YouTube also, some courses are there at no cost. So those courses are fine. Even I was going through an Udemy course. There is an instructor called Rahul Setti. Even
Mhm.
I took his course, 2 to 3 courses. I found it very good. Yeah,
Mhm.
so the suggestion would be keep working in your company along with this, take a course so that you will get an in-to-in knowledge from A to Z, that how the actual things goes. And maybe your company or wherever you are working, he or she is not implementing all the entire things. But if you take a course, you will get to know that what are the things getting involved in the automation testing or manual testing. Yeah, and in last, your channel is of course there for everybody, so
Mhm.
anybody can go through that and grab the knowledge.
Yes, yes, correct. Yeah, it's good. Okay. So, once again, many, many congratulations to you, Raj, right?
Yeah, thank you so
And
much.
wish you all the best for your career. And thank you so much for coming tonight, right? And sharing your success story with us.
Yeah, even I felt good
Yeah,
talking to you, and yeah, all the best to you too for your future endeavors.
yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.